Hi, myself Neha, working as an assistant professor in civil engineering department at Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. Today I am here to present a lecture on types of estimates topic, which is a main topic, which is a useful topic for civil engineers, which they study at BTech 7th semester. So the subject is estimation, costing, and project management. So I have taken a topic which is types of estimates, how much it is important, and why we use estimates, and what are the methods, what are the types, how do we use for before any construction. Let's see in the video. So first thing, introduction. Let's go for introduction. So here, before starting any project, we need to give an estimation. Like every contractors or builders, anything, they will give some estimation based on these drawings and calculations and these everything, floor plan, etc., or else drawing specifications, standards, etc. Based on all these things, estimation will be created. But how that is done and what is the purpose of it, what is the need for creating an estimation? So first one, before undertaking any construction project, it is necessary to know the expected cost and it is worked out by the estimation. So before starting any project, either any single room or any road, any construction work, before starting we need to take out an estimation, we need to prepare, we need to detail out. So why? But to know the approximate cost which we need to invest in the construction. So that is the reason we require estimation. So it is a computation of the quantities required and expenditure likely to be in the construction of the work. So before starting any construction, we need to know how much expenditure we require for this, or else based on that we can apply for loan, or else if the amount we have then it is sufficient, or else. So to gather all these data, all the required data for construction, so the estimation is required. So how the estimation is given, so if we have some practical knowledge, the builders or the contractors, they will give the estimation depending on the types of works, items which are required in building construction, etc. Based on the detailed description will be given in an estimation. So quantities, complete about quantities, what is the item, how much of quantity, and what is the rate, and what is the actual amount. So next, estimates play an important role in project planning, budgeting, and decision making. So before planning any construction, so if we have an estimation, if we prepare it, then we can get an idea that okay, roughly we can approximately, we can say that okay, this construction may cost this much. So to know the estimation and to know the budget, how much budget we need to put for a construction, for a building, for a project. So that is a major requirement of an estimation. Next, estimation refers to the process of determining the anticipated costs and quantities of materials like labor, equipment required for a construction project. So for any construction project, we require number of items. So like basic items to large, major quantities. So for every quantity, how much we require? What is the cost of it? What is the cost of labor? What is the cost of the equipment we use? So all these comes under this estimation. Next, these are typically prepared by quantity surveyors, cost engineers, or estimators who analyze the project specifications and drawings to quantify the components. So as we are talking that the construction will be given to the contractors or else builders, they need to provide an estimation. But estimate, not everyone can do it. The estimators who are having an experience, practical experience, who knows the basic items and the materials which are used in construction, each and every item. So based on that, the quantity surveyor and cost engineer, these two will provide an estimation. To know, as they know the quantity surveyor, they know the each and every single item which we use in the construction of any project. So based on those, they'll give an estimation. So mainly these quantity surveyors will give the estimations. They consider factors such as material cost, labor rates, equipment expenses, overheads, and contingencies. So generally we think that if we start any project, before starting we used to think that okay, it takes around 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs, but to say that figure we require to know the estimation. First of all, what is on what basis we can say the figure, we can figure out that amount means we need to give an estimation. So what it is, it include every minute work which we use in construction, labor work, because without labor there is no construction, and equipment, we require huge equipment, so major equipments. So for every work which we need to do in construction, like excavating, digging, and filling, concreting, etc., for slab, every purpose we require labor and next equipment. So these are the main things. So all these are included in the estimation. And the process of estimating involves breaking down the project into smaller components or work items. So general items of a building, in general items of building, there will be many components like superstructure, substructure, like DPC, plinth area, walls, windows, doors, etc., slab, roof, etc. So if we convert this into, we divide into small components, then we can work out the quantities easily. So for that basis, we divide out the components which are there in a structure into, like, it involves determine the quantities for each item. If we divide, like walls, if we go for walls, how many walls are there in the first floor, second floor, third floor, so that based on that we can, and then based on that wall, what is the length, breadth, so that we can find out the quantity. Next, applying appropriate unit rates or pricing data to calculate the cost. So there will be a standard schedule of rates. So based on that rates, so which is given by the government, so based on those rates, we need to calculate for each item which we are using in the construction. So next, estimates. Why are they important for us? So they are important in helping clients. The clients which give the contract, which give this construction to as a contracting work for builders or any other construction companies, anything. So it will help the clients to know about the, they can roughly estimate the amount, either 10 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs, so that they need to invest the amount, and they must know that which item costs how much. So for this, that is the most important, the estimation. And next, contractors and project stakeholders, and to understand the financial implications. So financially, we need to know that how much amount it is required. As we are investing, we must know that how much amount each item must be costed, so that how much amount we are spending in it. So that for all these reasons, the estimation is very important. And next, they provide a basis for budgeting, obtaining funding or approvals, and comparing bids from contractors. So bidding, in bidding also, they used to prepare an estimate and they go for in bid. So depending on the estimation, where the lower estimation is there, the bid will be given to them. So for all these purposes also, we require estimation. We need to prepare an estimate. So to know that, obtaining funding or approvals, to for approval of any project, we need to give in low budget. So we need to prepare an estimation. Next, and feasibility of the project within available resources. We need to prepare it within the available resources. What are the resources available in our area, in the project area, in the place? So what we need to provide there, what are the supplementary items we need to provide, what is the cost of it? So to all this, we need to know about all this, so that estimation is very much important before starting a construction. So it's important to note that estimates are not exact figures, but rather educated approximations based on available information. So basically, if I go and tell to some other builder or contractor, I wanted to construct a project like a G+3 building with some requirement. So basically what they'll do, some rough figure they will give. And estimation is also nothing but not exact figure. If I say for 50 lakhs for G+3 building, so it does not cost actually 50 lakhs. So it may less than 50 lakhs or else may greater than 50 lakhs. So estimation does not give the exact figure, does not give the actual cost of the building or actual cost of the project. Just it is a rough figure. Actually, we can know that, okay, this construction will cost this much, around this much. So approximately we can know the cost of the project. Next, as the project progresses and more detailed information becomes available, estimates may be redefined and updated. So if before starting any construction, the specifications and drawings may be in some other way. And next, after that, the specifications may change, or else the drawings may change, or else the dimensions may change, anything may change. So due to this, the estimates will be updated, as because starting estimation and after that, after like 2 3 some duration, after that if we change any dimensions or anything, any parameter in the construction, any item, so then the estimation will change. So estimation will be updated due to accurate cost projections. Next, let's go to types of estimates. What are the estimates we use in preparing an estimate before constructing a structure? So first one is preliminary estimate. Next, plinth area estimate, cube rate estimate, approximate quantity method estimate, detailed estimate, revised estimate, supplementary estimate, supplementary and revised estimate, annual repair or maintenance estimate. So these are 9 types of estimates are there. So basically, these are all the types which we give before starting a project, but and after in between the project construction of the and later after the project. So there will be these many types of estimations which we need to give, we need to prepare. Let's see one by one. So first one, there are several types of estimation in building to construct to determine the costs and quantities. Mainly the estimates are important because to determine the cost and quantities which we are using in the construction of any structure. So here mainly we talk about preliminary or approximate estimates and detailed estimates. These are the major 2 types of estimates we study in estimation, costing and project management subject. So first one is mainly preliminary or approximate estimate. By name itself, it defines that it is a preliminary estimate or else approximate, means a rough figure. We can use, as if I say I want to construct some project, a single room. So what is the cost of it? If I ask any contractor or builder, simply they can say, okay, around 10 lakhs, around 15 lakhs. So that is a rough estimate. They will prepare with rough estimate, like it may cost these many materials, this much cost. So that preparing that for initial feasibility based on similar projects. If I recently constructed a single room and next again I need to construct another for some other person. So generally what I'll do, okay, as recently I have constructed this project. So based on that, I can able to know that what is the cost of now the construction which I have undertaken. So that I can compare the prices, I can compare the area, everything. So that I can roughly estimate and tell the client that like previously I have done with these requirements and these specifications, it costed around this much, so that now your project may cost around this much. So to tell that, we require preliminary or approximate estimations. Next one is detailed estimations. So detailed estimations are nothing but, as name itself it says that, while preliminary is approximate, detail means like if we are constructing a wall, what is the length of the wall, what is the height of the wall, what is the width of the wall, how many bricks we have used, what is the area of it, what is the cost of each brick, how many walls are there, how many floors we are constructing, how many walls we are constructing, how many windows. So exactly by detail, pin to pin item we need to calculate, we need to write in the estimation in detail, and we need to calculate per cost. So that is comprehensive calculations of quantities, rates and cost. So by each and every item we need to enter in this detailed estimation. Next, other different types are there which include revised, means revising the estimation due to some other purposes. Next, supplementary estimations and maintenance estimation. So for any structure we require some supplementary works or maintenance works. For any structure we require maintenance work. So for those maintenance works also we require estimation. So exactly before starting any project or any construction work or any structure, we require estimation. Next, these are types of estimates: preliminary or approximate or rough estimate, which is also known as abstract estimate. So this is the first major method which we use generally. And next, plinth area method, which comes under preliminary estimate. Cube rate method, which also comes under preliminary approximate. Unit method, this also comes under preliminary. Next, detailed estimate. This is the major one. This is first one, this is second one. These two are the major estimations. Next, revised estimate, revising the detailed estimate. Next, supplementary estimates, if other materials are added, then we prepare supplementary estimate. Next, annual repair or maintenance estimate, and next, complete estimate. So here 9 types of estimates are there which we use in estimation process before constructing any project. So depending on the type, first one is we'll go uh, in this severity. So first one, second one, third one. So in this serial we'll go the estimations. So first one, approximate estimate or preliminary estimate or rough estimate or abstract estimate, any type of estimate which we first, before starting any project, we'll give a rough estimate, which is known as a preliminary, approximate or rough estimate. So this is most useful estimate and most very important. So it is used early in the project to determine financial feasibility. So before constructing any project, we need to check our financial feasibility. So to check out that, we need to work out on the quantities which are required in the construction of a project. So for to know all these, as we'll give some contract, I will give the this contract the some other contractors or builders or any construction companies, reputed companies, so that we'll give. So before giving to them, or else before, we need to have rough idea how much we are about to spend on this project. So to know all this, we need some financial feasibility. So to know about it, we require to carry out the estimates. So which is used in the early stage of the project before starting. So in that, for buildings or for roads, how do we calculate? On what basis we calculate? Let's see. So if you calculate approximate estimate or rough estimate for buildings, let's see how do we calculate per unit basis. So if I am constructing some hostels or some other buildings, some hospitals, etc. So if we construct them, how do we calculate the total amount of the total cost of the structure? So per student or per person, per bed. So example, let's see, per student for schools and hostels. If we are constructing like a school or any hostel, so we need to calculate what is the capacity of that hostel or school, how many students we can intake, and what is the cost per student we need to calculate. So for example, if you take a hostel around 100 students, 100 students, capacity of any hostel is about 100 students. So how do we get an estimation of it, the cost of the project? We need to calculate per student, per one student. So per one student means how we need to calculate? We need to calculate 100 into per one student. If we take for hostel means we need to provide them food, bed, etc., water, so etc. requirements we need to provide. So approximately if you take 10,000 for the hostel, which is of capacity of 100 students. So then what about this? It takes 10 lakhs, around 10 lakhs. So it takes around 10 lakhs. It is about 10 lakhs. If we construct, so that like this we can calculate the estimation, like this we can tell the client that it costs around, this project costs around 10 lakhs, like around 20 lakhs. So if you take for another, per classroom for schools, per bed for hospitals, if you take any hospital, it is like a small hospital with around 50 beds. So for a bed, a single person, so we need to calculate for bed. So hospital around of 50 beds if we take, so how much it comes? So 50 into for one bed. If you take as hospital, we need to provide food, some etc., some etc. So we need to take 20,000. So how much it cost? It also so it also cost about 10 lakhs. So per person, how much it's cost? So the complete cost of this project is 10. So that is the thing. We need to how we are calculating. So next, and this how we need to calculate. We can calculate through plinth area basis. We can calculate to cubic content basis. We can calculate as approximate quantity method. These are the three methods which comes under preliminary or approximate or rough estimate. How do we calculate? We'll see later on. And next one, roads and highways. So in any construction, we get not only structure, we get roads construction, highways, village roads, etc. Everything in R&B department, roads and buildings department, we need to construct all these. So how do we calculate? For building of schools or colleges, something per student, we need to calculate, or per person, per bed, so etc. So if we come for roads and highways, how we can? For per kilometer basis, depending on the nature of the road. So if we take a state highway, SH, if we take, let us take about its, we are constructing for a 10 kilometers road. So for constructing this 10 kilometers road, we need to calculate how much per kilometer, how much we need to spend the amount. So 10 kilometers into per kilometer, it may be around 15,000. So what is this is the actual cost. So we need to calculate how much we get here. That amount is, let us think it is X. So this amount will be the actual cost of that construction of that road work. Next, irrigation channels. So this also, like irrigation, we also calculate based on the kilometer basis and hectare basis. If area, like hectare or area, we'll take in that. Next, when coming to cube rate method. So cube rate, as name itself, it says that cubic meter, it will be taken in cubic meter, nothing but the volume. So how it is it calculated? It is divided into, based on the volume, we'll calculate cubic rate method. So the structure, complete structure will be divided into two parts. That is foundation including plinth, and next superstructure. So everything in foundation or else superstructure, we need to calculate what is the plinth area, what are the beams, what is the column. So first we need to calculate total length of the walls. And next, find out the running meter. So how much the wall it is, how much the length and width in square meter, the running meter will be calculated, and it will be calculated to the quantity of the walls in the complete structure. So similarly for superstructure, like brickwork, roof, flooring, etc., these all are calculated per square meter. Next, so when we go for unit rate estimate. So in this method, all the cost of a unit quantity of work, such as kilometer per, as I previously said, kilometer for a highway, bed of a hospital, per classroom of a school, per liter of water. If we construct water tank also. So for that, what is the capacity of it we need to construct, and how much does it cost, we need to calculate. So for that, we need to calculate based on per liter. And next, these all are considered first, and estimate is prepared by multiplying the cost per responding unit. So if we take some item, X item, 10 units. So if we take 10 units, then we need to calculate in that complete structure, completion of the structure, we require 10 units. So then X into 10. X is the item, 10 is the quantity, and next rate. What is the rate? Maybe it may be 50, 100, 120, 150, etc. So this will give the cost of the item. Next, plinth area estimate. So how do we calculate plinth area? So before constructing something, superstructure, we need to calculate the plinth area, out of the structure, outer wall to outer wall of the structure. What is the area we need to calculate based on the length into breadth. If you think this is the plinth area, this is L, this is B. So here we can calculate plinth area is L into B square meters. So based on this, we need to calculate. So we carry out the plinth area estimate. Next, cube rate estimate. So if you can see in figure, so here this is L, this is B, this is height H. So as cube rate means nothing but volume is equals to L into B into H. So if you know all these values, so we can give the cube rate estimate. Next, if you can see in this figure, this is a plinth area, outer to outer wall. So this is entire area if you want to calculate for any structure. But if you go for carpet area, we need to calculate for carpet area also. So we'll go for into in. So inner length. So we need to exclude the walls quantity. So that including the walls quantity gives the plinth area. Excluding it gives the carpet area. So next we will go for detailed estimate. So you can see here all letters, figures, numbers, percentage, etc. So detailed estimate it gives. So previously we have generated preliminary estimate, which is also known as approximate or rough estimate. So here this detailed estimate which gives the information about the work after getting administrative approval. So before starting any project, we will prepare the rough estimate and we'll provide the rough estimate to the contractor or client. So if they say okay, I can go with this amount with this budget. If they are okay with it, then they'll give the approval. Then after getting an approval, what again we need to do is we need to prepare the detailed estimate of the structure. How much it costs means we need to prepare detailed item, every single item which we use in that construction project. So based on all those items, we will give the quantities and cost of completion of the work. So at last, by entering all the including all the each and every item in this estimate, we'll get the around accurate cost of the work complete it. So what does it include? Detailed estimation report, specifications, detailed drawings. If we have detailed drawings, elevations, plan, section, if we have only these detailed drawings, then only we can prepare detailed estimation. If not, we are about to give the rough estimates only. So if to require detailed estimation, we require detailed drawings. And next, design data and calculations, rates adopted. So for every item we need to, for every year may the rates adopted, the standard schedule of rates SSR may vary or else not. So we need to check those rates, we need to check for every item. So that is rates adopted. Next, item rate estimate. So most accurate estimate, because we will calculate every single item and we'll calculate the quantity and we'll give the most accurate cost of the project. So this estimate is also known as most accurate estimate. When full drawings and specifications are available, calculating exact quantities and labor also. So to construct some project, we require 20 members of labor. So we need to calculate them also because we need to pay for them. So we must include their quantity and their cost also in the estimation. So it is accurate prepared by working out quantities of each items of work. So it is prepared in two stages, details of measurements and calculation of quantities. So first thing we will prepare based on the quantities as which we have an idea, which from starting A to Z to complete the cost of the project, we need to enter every material. So details of measurements and calculation of quantities. And later, abstract of estimated cost, 3 to 5% of estimated cost is added to cover miscellaneous expenditure. So we'll prepare estimate. After preparing it, 3 to 5% which we have prepared in preliminary or else rough estimate or else abstract estimate, we need to add 3 to 5% of that amount to the detailed estimate, because to cover the miscellaneous expenditure. It may increase or else decrease, anything can happen, or else the price get increases or drops, anything, or else some items which we can forget. So to cover all those, so we'll add 3 to 5% of amount. Next, detailed estimate is prepared work wise, based on work like excavation, next foundation, next footing. So based on work wise, we'll segregate into work wise and then we'll prepare. So these are some model. So details of measurement and details of quantities. First serial number, description of item, which work here. So item, what we require? Brick. So if you take brick, quantity, how many number of brick? If you say 10 or 100. So what is the length? If you are constructing for a wall, so you need to length of the wall, 10 meters, breadth 15 meters and height 10 meters. You can take feet also, feet or meter. So quantity, this how much quantity we require here. And next explain why we require, we need to write it here. Next, same estimate, same another table, abstract of estimation cost. So as we prepare this, again we need to prepare this. So any item number, description we are using for excavation purpose. Quantity, what item you require for the excavation purpose, what is the unit, like number 1 or 2 or 3, what is the rate of it per unit. per single or per 10 or per 20 we need to give here. Complete amount we'll give here. So this is the by calculating every item here we'll get here the total amount, actual cost of the project. So next, revised estimate. So revised estimate. So we'll prepare some preliminary estimation. We'll get the construction, approval is given, and then we'll prepare detailed estimation. And also after preparing detailed estimation, we'll know the accurate amount of the project. So after that, if we get the sanction amount is sanctioned, then if the amount exceeds more than 5% due to rates being found insufficient or due to some other reasons, so revised estimate is prepared. Because as we add some contingencies amount around 3 to 5%, the amount of all the items may increase or else decrease, or else we may forget, anything can happen. So due to some other conditions or due to some other reasons, this revised estimate will be prepared. And next, after preparing this, we need to provide a comparative statement attached on the last page. First one is estimated detailed estimate, and next revised estimate, and next one is the comparative statement. Why it is the amount is increased? What is the reason? Next, it includes reasons for increase in cost in case of each items. Revised estimate shows the variation of each item. So if you take for excavation work in detailed estimation, it is about 50,000, and if you go for revised estimate, it may take around 60,000, or else the cost of the labor is increased, or else the cost of the equipment is increased. Any reason may occur. So we need to provide both the cost and we need to provide a reason for that why the cost is increased for every item, and we need to show the variation, how it is varied. So this is about revised estimate. Next, when we go for supplementary estimate. So while a work is in progress, some additional works may become necessary for the development of the project, which was not included when the original estimate was prepared. So while preparing the preliminary estimate, some works we may forget, we may not include. And next, in detailed estimation, no other work will be eliminated. Every work will be considered. Every item which we use in construction is included. So all these will be included. So we'll get some detailed estimation, accurate cost of the project. But some additional works which we have, suppose, for example, after preparing detailed estimation, after sanctioning the amount also, the client may change some requirements in the structure, some quantities, or else some plan, some structure, some elevation, it may change. So due to all these, some additional works will be included. So as the additional works are included, we need to prepare the supplementary estimate, as which items were not included in the preliminary estimate or detailed estimate. So those items will be included in supplementary estimate. So a fresh detailed estimate in addition to the original sanctioned estimate prepared describing the additional work. So the work of a structure which we have not included in preliminary estimate and detailed estimate, we need to add in supplementary estimate. The additional works which are added in the construction of a work are required to prepare a supplementary estimate. The additional works are included in supplementary estimate. So nothing but describing the additional work, why we are adding it and what is the amount of it, that is about the supplementary estimate. It is required when further development is required. So during the progress of any work, we require some development, or we need to add some features, some requirements we need to increase. So for all those, we need the estimation. So that is nothing but the supplementary estimate. The abstract of cost should show the amount of original sanctioned estimate. So again, it must show. As for revised estimate, we need to give a comparative statement why it is increased or decreased. And for supplementary estimate, we need to show what are the items which previously we have not included and which we have included, what is the cost of that time and what is the cost now as updated. So we need to show all these. These all comes under supplementary estimate. And next, annual repair or maintenance estimate. So it is nothing but for any structure, maintenance work is mandatory. So we need to do maintenance. If not, then the structure may fade or something may happen, some minor repairs or etc. Anything. Those all works. If we require for any some structure, we require painting or else sealing, something other issues, plumbing materials or electrical, something issues if we get, and some minor repairs are there. So for those minor repair also, we need to give an estimate before starting the works. So that is about annual repair or maintenance estimate. So repairing is done for roads. So it is required not only for structure, it is required for roads also, as it may have some bumps or some anything. The road is broke down, etc. Anything may happen. So maintenance. If there is no maintenance, we cannot travel on the road. So further, repairing must be mandatory, and buildings to keep them in perfect condition. So if the building must be in perfect condition, we need to do proper maintenance. So to do all this, we require maintenance. So further, if any work, any minor repairs are there, so we need to give an estimate which is known as annual repair or maintenance estimate. So estimates for maintaining structures, example like painting, whitewashing, like plumbing works, electrical works, etc. So all these comes under repair or maintenance works. So it is prepared to maintain structure to work in proper order and safe condition. So for all this, we require maintenance works. For buildings like painting, whitewashing, minor repairs, etc. And for road works, so it may give patch repairs, repairs of bridges and colors. Every structure needs repairs. Every structure gets repairs. Every structure require maintenance works. So to complete all this, we need to prepare an estimate. So that is nothing but annual repair or maintenance estimate. So here you can see a person is doing a maintenance work there. So to complete this work, actually to start this work, we need to prepare an estimate. So next one, same. If you go for whitewashing, oiling, painting, cement plaster repairs, repairing of floors, etc. For any work, we need to prepare an estimate before starting it. That is nothing but annual repair estimate. So for this type of repairing, annual repair estimates are prepared. So this is another type of repair estimate, annual repair estimate. So in no case, the annual repair amount should be increased greater than 45% of the capital cost of the building. So it must increase. So it should be increased greater than 45% of this. So actual cost, what is for any building? If we have invested around 50 lakhs, so the maintenance cost must be exceed 45%. So at that time only we'll go for the maintenance works. Next one, last one is complete estimate. So complete estimate, this is an estimated cost of all items which are related to the work in addition to the detailed estimate. So in detailed estimate, some other. So for if you are constructing a G+3 building, so we have included every item in the detailed estimate. But some items which are additionally we have opted, additionally we have included. So we need to give them in including all those items from A to Z, we'll detailed estimation plus next revised estimate. So all these comes under complete estimate. So adding extra included works also, we need to add an estimate which we call it as complete. So what does this estimate includes? Cost of preliminary works. What are the, we'll prepare preliminary estimation. So what are the works we have included there? Those are included here. Cost of land acquisition. So before starting, we need to stand on some other land, some area. What is the cost of those land? What cost of improvement of land? Cost of building of structure? Cost of temporary accommodation? Cost of maintenance and repair. So all these 7 items will be included in complete estimate. So from starting preliminary to complete estimate, these all the materials, all are similar estimates, but we'll give for some items, we'll add some items, we'll remove, and for maintenance, etc. So including all these works comes under the complete estimate. This we call it as complete estimate, including all these works from starting A to completing of Z. So before starting early stage of project and next ending of the project by before handovering. So that is the stage the estimate will carry out, which is known as the complete estimate. And these are the references. And thank you.